Yeah, welcome to today's class. Good afternoon, good morning. It's an amazing to have you here on my channel. If you are watching on YouTube, I say welcome. If you are watching on Facebook, I say congratulations. You are having this class with Mr. Ojajuni, the passionate teacher with legacy. In our biology class today, we are going to be looking at the respiration in biology. If you can hear that clearly, kindly type it at the comment section. Respiration in biology. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the page too. If you are on the YouTube, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now as I'm watching this, so that you can be updates for the next subject or probably next topic in this same subject. And if you are on Facebook, don't forget to share as many as you can and make sure you follow the page for more updates, and also follow the page. And also, if you have any question, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, or you can chat me on WhatsApp and I will reply to you immediately. And if you want a personal class within yourself, for yourself, you can also contact me. God bless you. But make sure you listen very well. Get your written material, your pen and paper, and make sure you jot down everything in this class. Now, having said that, respiration, definition, and types, we'll be looking at this and more to that. Then let's go into the objective of the class. This is the learning objective of this particular class. When you are hearing the word learning objective, it means what a teacher or what the curriculum is expected at the end of that particular class. And that is what we are going to be looking at this now. We are going to be looking at them. These are the learning objectives. That is, by the end of the lesson, student that is watching this now should be able to define respiration. You should be able to define respiration and explain how it differs from breathing. That is, there is difference between respiration and breathing. So you should be able to define respiration and differentiate between them, and identify and describe the two types of respiration, that is aerobic and anaerobic respiration. State the word and the chemical equation for aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Explain ATP. ATP simply means adenosine triphosphate, as the energy molecule produced during respiration, as the energy produced. More so, we're going to look at differentiate between aerobic and anaerobic respiration based on one, oxygen use, product formed, amount of energy released, where they occur in the cell. Explain the importance of respiration to living organisms. Illustrate or track where aerobic and anaerobic respiration occur in the cell. Interpret chemical equation of respiration correctly. All this will be discussed. I believe you are following me. If you are following me, just type I'm following. And if you are learning, just type I'm learning. God bless you as you do that. Make sure you do that in that comment section and subscribe to this page right now. Love it. I like it. Make a comment. Let's dive in as we go. Key point. Respiration takes place in living cell. It is not the same as breathing. You must note this. Breathing is the physical act of inhaling and exhaling air, but respiration is the chemical process inside the cell. The main food substance used is glucose. That is in what? Respiration. That is that. Now let's dive in details. What is respiration? Respiration is the biological process by which living organisms release energy from food substances like glucose. It involves the breaking down of glucose in the presence of absence of oxygen to produce energy. That is, ATP, which I've said earlier on, that the body uses for growth, movement, repair, and other activities. In other words, it's a biological process by which living organisms release energy from food substances. You can see that now it's different from respiration. It's different from that of breathing. Breathing is the process of taking in oxygen and release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. You can see that now. This one has to do with the biological process that involves the breaking down of substance, that is breaking down of glucose, complex glucose in the body. That is complex substance in the body. Breaking down of glucose in the presence of or absence of what? Oxygen. It can be done in two ways. So that is what that is that. And what it's produced, the end product of this is what? ATP, in which I've told you here in the other time, that is adenosine triphosphate. That is the meaning of ATP. Now, type of respiration. There are two major types. Aerobic respiration, excuse me, and the second one is anaerobic respiration. Jala, I believe you are learning. If you have any question, don't forget to ask. So those are the major two types that we have. Then let's look at aerobic respiration. It's a respiration that uses oxygen to break down glucose completely into carbon dioxide and water. I said it earlier on. It occurs in the presence of oxygen and absence of what? Oxygen. Now in aerobic, now that one take place in the presence of what? Oxygen. That is, oxygen is required for the what? The breaking down of glucose completely into what? Carbon dioxide and water. That it is breaking it down into what? Carbon dioxide and what? And water. That is what it is being break down. The glucose is break down completely into this two. That is that. Then aerobic respiration uses oxygen to break down glucose completely, and it occurs in mitochondria. Take note of that. Aerobic respiration occurs in mitochondria of the cell. Produce large amount of ATP. It produces large amount of what? ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. It produces what? A large amount. Product. What is the product of this? Is carbon dioxide and water. Like I said here, it's carbon dioxide and water. It's carbon dioxide. Let me make it a little big good so that you can always see that. You can watch again, you can go back, you can rewind, and you can do that. So that is what that is. That is the product, the end product of aerobic. So that is that. Then aerobic respiration occur inside the mitochondria of the cell. Like I said, produce large amount of energy at ATP, common in human, animal, plant, and what? Most organisms. Characteristics of aerobic respiration: require oxygen, completely breaking down of glucose, produce high energy, produce carbon dioxide and water. Take place continuously in most organisms. Then anaerobic respiration, which is the second, which is the number two types that we're looking at in this class. This is the respiration that does not use oxygen to break down glucose. Instead, glucose is only partially broken down. You can see this one now. The difference between this one now, aerobic and anaerobic, is because is what? That of anaerobic required oxygen, while anaerobic require what? Does not use what? Oxygen. You can see here aerobic, this respiration that uses oxygen. You can see that. That is aerobic, while anaerobic does not use oxygen to break down glucose. Glucose still break down, but not completely. It is partially broken down. In that of aerobic, it is completely broken down into two things: carbon dioxide and water. So that these are the questions I will ask you, and I'm asking you right now. And also you that you are joining live now, and you that are watching on YouTube or probably on Facebook, these are the questions I want you to understand, and these are the things I want you to understand. I want you to write on the comment section the difference between aerobic and anaerobic. Write it down for you to be able to understand. Make it as a comment and said, I'm learning, thank you sir. Then make this a comment. So that is what that is. That is what that. And types of aerobic and anaerobic respiration we have in animal, e.g. human muscle. That it takes place what in human muscle. In animal, that it occur in animal and it occur in yeast. Now in animal it takes place in the muscle. You know, the muscle of human. Glucose is converted into lactic acid and energy. That is what it happens in that muscle. The glucose in that food substances is being converted into lactic acid and energy. That is in what? Animals. In animal, that is, for example now, e.g. human, the glucose is being converted into lactic acid and energy. Then in yeast, that is what? Fermentation. The fermentation is the process of removal of what? Of water. So more of the explanation of fermentation will be seen on my page later on. Glucose is converted into alcohol, ethanol, carbon dioxide, and what? And energy. Fermentation is the removal of water. So that is what that is. That glucose is being converted into alcohol, carbon dioxide, and energy. You can see that in animal, it is converted to lactic acid. You can see that, and energy. Then in yeast, it is converted into what? Alcohol, which is also known as ethanol, and carbon dioxide and energy. Carbon dioxide and what? Energy. Can you see that? So that is what? That is that. That is that. Then characteristics of anaerobic respiration, I've said this earlier on, it is repeatedly so that you can understand. It does not require oxygen. Occur when oxygen is insufficient. When oxygen is not sufficient, then it takes place. But in the presence of sufficient of oxygen, it will not what take place. It's aerobic that will actually take place. Produce little energy. And you can see the other one that it produces a what? Large energy. But this one produces a little energy. You can see that. Little energy. Then leads to lactic acid building up in what? Muscle, causing cramps. It can lead to lactic acid building up in muscle, causing what? Cramps. So that is that. Aerobic respiration occur without oxygen. Glucose is partially broken down. Produce less ATP. That one produce large ATP. Then occur in muscle during vigorous exercise and what? In yeast. That other one, aerobic, occur where? I'm asking as a question now. It occur where? Write it at the comment section. Write it at the comment section. You can go back and check that. I've said it earlier on. Now, anaerobic respiration occur in the cytoplasm of the cell. That is, we have it happen in the yeast and it happen in animal. So you can see that occur in cytoplasm of the cell, produce less energy than aerobic respiration. Common in yeast, bacteria, and occur in human during vigorous exercise. Type of anaerobic respiration this slide is repeated again. Let me delete this. It's repeated. So let me just make it bigger. So that is what that is repeated. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. So occur in cytoplasm, produce less energy, and common in yeast, bacteria, and occur in human during vigorous exercise. We have discussed that. So that is that. Now the chemical equation of aerobic, that is glucose plus oxygen, it will give you what? Carbon dioxide plus water plus energy at ATP. This is the chemical equation for that. Then anaerobic, animal glucose, it will give what? Lactic acid plus energy. And anaerobic yeast, glucose produce alcohol, carbon dioxide, and what? Energy. So these are the chemical equation. And also you can see now C6H12O6 plus 6O2 give you 6 carbon dioxide, carbon, oxygen 2, then 6H2O plus energy. So that is that. That is CCH12O6. Sorry, we have 6O2, then 6O2 plus 6H2O plus energy. That is aerobic. This carbon, hydrogen, oxygen is being required. Then anaerobic in most, we have 6H12O6, then we have C2H3 and 336 6 oxygen plus energy. So you can see that these are the chemical equations. You can try to master them and try to understand them. But if you lack anything among these, please drop it at the comment section, then I will explain to you. All the tool, what they just require is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and the number of moles of each element is being represented by the subscript and the coefficient that you can see on that your screen. What is coefficient and what is subscript? Check other class that I've prepared and you will understand that. So that is that. Then at ATP, energy produced. At ATP, adenosine triphosphate, I've said it earlier on. Energy currency of the cell. Aerobic respiration 36 to 38 ATP, and aerobic respiration 2 ATP. Use of for movement, growth, repair, nerves impulse, heat production. So that is the end of this class. I'm Boluwaji Ojajuni, the passionate teacher with the legacy. Thank you for watching, and if you have any other question, or probably you have you want to have a special class with me, you can contact this number right now on your screen, 0810232632 and if you're outside of Nigeria, just put +234 +234. So that is my number. Now let's recap. Thank you for watching to this particular time, but let's recap. Respiration in biology, the learning objective. If you check very well now, all the learning objective has been met. The definition, that what make it different, doing breathing, identify and describe, state the word chemical equation, explain ATP, and the rest. All this has been discussed. Between aerobic and anaerobic respiration, oxygen use, product formed, amount of energy released, where they occur in the cell, the importance of respiration to living organism, the track, illustrate track where aerobic and anaerobic. We have done all this. Key point: we have done all this, all this. So that is what the beauty of this class. Subscribe to this channel, follow this Facebook page, and make sure you share it so that others can actually benefit. It's an interesting class and it is less than 20 minutes. You can see how powerful and how engaging it is. So my class is very short, brief and details. God bless you. I'm Buluwaji Ojaji, the passionate teacher with a legacy. Jola, don't forget to answer the question I've actually asked you. Chat me on WhatsApp. God bless you and bye for now. And bye for